20 years ago, the world felt bigger. Not physically bigger, but emotionally bigger, psychologically bigger, spiritually bigger. There were still places that felt undiscovered, questions that felt unanswered, possibilities that felt real. Today, we have more information than we've ever had in our civilization's history. Every fact, every map, every review, every opinion, every explanation available in seconds. And yet, many people have the feeling that something has been lost. Something difficult to describe. A feeling that life has become flatter, more predictable, less meaningful, less alive. Why? Because human beings were never built to live in a completely explained world. For most of history, the unknown surrounded us. People looked into forests they had never entered, crossed oceans they had never seen, stared at the starry night they couldn't explain. Life was uncertain, and uncertainty created mystery. Mystery created curiosity. Curiosity created purpose. The horizon was never just a destination. It was an invitation. And perhaps that's what we're missing. Not information necessarily, but invitation. Because every great chapter of human history began with a question. What is beyond that mountain? What is across that ocean? What are the lights in that sky? What happens when you die? Who are we? Why are we here? Questions moved civilizations forward. Questions built ships. Questions built telescopes. Questions built science. Questions built faith. Questions built philosophy. Questions built everything. Yet today, we live in a culture increasingly obsessed with immediate answers. The moment curiosity appears, an answer arrives. Before wonder has even a chance to grow. Before imagination has a chance to breathe. Before mystery has a chance to do its work. And mystery does have work to do. Because mystery is not ignorance, no. Mystery is possibility. There is a difference. Ignorance says, I don't know. Mystery says, there may be more. And human beings have always been transformed by a belief that there may be more. More beyond the horizon. More beyond the stars. More beyond what we currently understand. More beyond what we've been told. Without mystery, life becomes mechanical, predictable, closed. A system of known outcomes. But something fascinating happens when people encounter genuine mystery. They become alive. Think about the feeling of standing beneath a sky full of stars. The feeling isn't information. The feeling is perspective. You suddenly recognize how little you know. And strangely, that realization doesn't make you smaller. It makes life larger. Because the unknown expands the boundaries of possibility. That's why some of humanity's greatest experiences come from encounters with things we cannot fully explain. Love, consciousness, beauty, death, meaning. These are not small mysteries. These are the biggest mysteries. And despite all of our advancements, we are no closer to fully explaining them. Science can describe the brain-ish, but consciousness remains elusive. We can map galaxies, yet we still don't know most of the universe is actually made of, or oceans. We can split atoms, sequence DNA, build artificial intelligence, but the deepest questions still remain. What is reality? Why does anything exist at all? Why is there something instead of nothing? And perhaps the most uncomfortable realization of all, the more we discover, the larger the mystery becomes. Because every answer creates new questions. Every discovery reveals new unknowns. Every doorway opens into another hallway. The universe isn't becoming simpler. It's becoming stranger, which raises an interesting possibility. Maybe mystery hasn't actually disappeared. Maybe we've simply distracted ourselves from it. Maybe endless entertainment, constant stimulation, and perpetual digital noise have made it difficult to hear the question that once echoed through every generation. Questions that cannot be answered in a search bar. Questions that require reflection, patience, wonder. Questions that ask something of us, because mystery has always demanded participation. You don't solve life's greatest mysteries. You live them. You wrestle with them. You chase them. You allow them to change you. Perhaps that is what many people are actually searching for right now. Not certainty, not another fact, not another notification, but a sense that there is still something beyond the edge of what they know. Something worth exploring, something worth seeking, something that reminds them that reality is deeper than what appears. Because the truth is, the world is still filled with mystery. The stars are still above us. Consciousness is still unexplained. The future remains unwritten. The biggest questions remain unanswered. And maybe that's not a flaw in human history. Maybe that's the point. Maybe mystery was never meant to be eliminated. Maybe mystery is the engine that keeps humanity moving forward. The force that pulls us beyond the known, beyond the comfortable, beyond the familiar, towards something greater, and perhaps an age of obsessed answers. The people who ask the best questions will be the ones who discover the most. If you enjoyed this exploration, subscribe to Signal Shift TV, because sometimes the most important thing we can find isn't an answer. It's a question we're chasing. Sorry about my voice, guys. Super sick. I wanted to be here. See you tomorrow.